Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about why you can't stick to your diet. Now, you've tried a million diets, you haven't been able to stick to it, and you now probably think it's because you have no willpower, no self-control, no ability to focus long, and that's not it. Okay, so I got good news. I come bring good news for you. That if you struggle to stick with your diet, the main reason that's happened is because you're overwhelming yourself. You're doing way too much too soon. And if we put it in a different context, I think it becomes a bit more obvious. If you decide you want to start working out, right? And so you're going to start lifting weights and you go in the first day and you lift weights for 5 hours. Okay. And your plan is to work out every day for 5 hours. I mean, it sounds great on paper. Sure, I guess. Yeah. Wow. But in the real world, it's going to be really hard to get through 5 hours. And more importantly, it's going to be almost impossible to get through it tomorrow. Oh my God, for the whole week, the whole month. It's overwhelming. It's stressful. It tires you out. It makes you feel bad and it's hard to keep going. And this is what you're doing to yourself with your diet plan. You think that because you know what to do, you should just be able to just do it perfectly right from the first day. 100% better. That's how you start your diet plan. 100% perfect. And so you go from months, years, decades of being out of control with your eating to one day you follow a plan perfectly. And it's too much. It's overwhelming. And you can't do it. That's why. So what I'm saying is it's not a reflection on your willpower. It's not a reflection on your focus, your ability to take action. It's a reflection on a plan that is too overwhelming right from the get-go. Because as soon as you start your diet plans, you start to feel overwhelmed, stressed, deprived, emotional, right? Because it's so much effort goes into it that you start to get depleted. And so the answer is not to imagine that some magical Monday, you wake up and you have just this superhuman willpower that you're experiencing. The smarter strategy is to say, I am making it too hard. Yeah, I can do it for a day or a couple days, but then it gets really difficult to eat this way. And what we want to do is we go from that all or nothing mindset of being absolutely perfect or not doing it at all, is we start creating an all or something mindset where we have some gray space, where the goal is not to be 100% perfect. It's to be better, 10% better, 20% better. You see, when you think in 100% terms, it's such a weird concept because you have to eat forever. And first of all, you're never going to be perfect with your eating all the time. It's not even a potential possibility for you. You're always going to make mistakes. And so we need to realize that losing weight is not about being perfect. It's about being better. To get to your goal weight, most people, we're talking about an average 20, 25% of their weight they want to lose. Just I'm picking a number out of the blue. Obviously, yours may be higher or lower. But let's just say you want to lose 25% of your weight. You're 200 pounds, you want to lose 50 pounds. You want to get to 150. Okay, let's just say. And so instead of thinking you have to be perfect to lose the weight, we want to realize that I need to cut on average 25% of my calories out of my diet. And then we'll see how that translates into the weight. And if you approach it this way, there's room for you to make mistakes. There's room for you not to be perfect right away, but to start to strategically and systematically improve and get better. And that improvement in getting better is reducing calories, making the food more nourishing and healthier. And as you start to strategically make these changes, you do it in a way that not only gets you results, but you do it in a way that is comfortable. The most important thing that's missing from pretty much all the diets you've done, which is the reason you can't stick with them. The reason you can't stick with the diets is because they're too much for you. What do you think the reason is? When you think about it, what do you think the reason is? And again, you live in this fantasy land that someday you're going to wake up, just have a absolutely supernatural amount of willpower that can make you do these extreme plans perfectly. But the second you get rid of that, let it go. It's not true. You're never going to be able to start on Monday and just be perfect until you reach your goal weight. It's never going to happen. So what we do instead is we systematically build up muscle. And if we go back to that metaphor I was saying, if you want to start working out, you start with a half hour, an hour, a couple times a week. Let your body get used to it. Start to learn about exercising. Let your body adjust slowly to the changes you're making. And then you get used to that, and you can ramp it up a little bit more, ramp up the weight, ramp up the frequency, ramp up the timing of it. And you get better and better and better at it. And as you keep getting better, you elevate, you grow, you evolve, you reach higher levels. But you don't think about your weight loss like this. You don't think about starting to make smart strategic changes to your eating that you can build on, because you think all or nothing. You're either eating perfectly or you're not thinking about it at all. And that's the kiss of death. Okay. You've got to have more granular things you can start to shift and change within your eating, so that even now, listen, you can be perfect if you want, knock yourself out, but you always want to have a lower level. So yeah, you're doing keto. Okay. I'm not eating any carbs, no carbs at all. Great. Until you start eating carbs. You see, that's the secret. And with most dieting, it's black or white. So the second you're eating some carbs, now I'm completely off the plan. But what if you say, okay, great, I want to eat no carbs. That's the goal. But when I fall short of that, I'm going to focus on reducing 20% of my carbs at least from what I normally eat. And again, we just never think in these gray areas, but this is where the success lies. And if you look in your life, you'll notice this, because nothing you do you do at 100% every single time you do it. It's impossible. And eating is right there as well. So start thinking differently. And if you want some support in doing that, click the link in my bio, go get the free hypnosis session I give you, watch the video, read the emails. I will help you, because this is what I help people do. So check it out. So I hope everyone's having a nice day. It's beautiful Wednesday. Sun came out in New England for the first time in a week. It's been raining literally straight for a week, which I guess is good for the grass. Although my grass is going out of control. I'm getting my lawnmower serviced, and it's way, way behind schedule. These guys have had my lawnmower for like 9 weeks with no end in sight. So the grass is longer than I've ever seen it. I think that's good for it, though. What's up, XX says, hello, Jim. I stopped thinking about my goal weight now. Just keep focusing on losing weight and not gaining the weight back, and enjoy the foods and home workouts. Experimenting with foods I eat in a day is working. Yeah, that's great, X. Yeah, it does work. Again, I don't bring stuff to you folks that doesn't work. Everything I'm sharing with you is tried and tested. So that's how that goes. But yeah, again, slowly and kind of systematically and strategically transforming your eating is the path forward. Trying to change it all at once is not. That's not the path forward. That's a bad way to go about it. So yeah, when you start experimenting with the foods, it's just a whole different thing. It's a whole different approach. But yeah, but if anyone's any questions, it's funny. I mean, today I'm talking about why you've struggled to stick with your diet, and I don't know why people struggle so hard with this one. It seems like the most obvious question in the world to me. Why people struggle and can't stick to their diet. And I don't know why no one ever focuses on the piece of it where it's too much, it's too overwhelming. But I think it's because dieters are so trapped and locked into how fast they can lose the weight that they don't even recognize how extreme the methods they're using are. Like keto seems like a normal strategy now. It's very extreme is what that is. It's a weird diet. So, things that are extreme all of a sudden seem normal, because when you get so impatient, it's all about, literally, the only question that matters is how can I lose weight as fast as possible? And when that's the only question you're asking in terms of your weight, it affects everything else that follows. And what it's doing right now is that your impatience is trapping you in extreme plans that you can't stick with. And the worst part is that you don't even realize that. The worst part is that, again, you don't even see that piece of the equation. You only see your own shortcomings within that. You only blame yourself for not having the willpower, the motivation, the focus to follow this extreme plan, but you don't think of your plan as extreme. And because you don't see it that way, you can't fix it. You can't change it. You're stuck. Because what you're trying to do now is you're trying to get yourself to do something that's virtually impossible, which is to eat perfectly. And you're gonna. Well, what's up, Jen? Jen says, good afternoon, Jim. Do you recommend I do the goal weight quiz even though I'm at my perceived goal? Thanks. Oh, absolutely, Jen. Yeah, absolutely. Because the goal weight quiz is not, to be honest, it's really not even about the number you end up with, although that's important. What it's about is the meaning you give your goal weight number. that's the point of the goal weight quiz. It's about the meaning. What does your goal weight mean to you? And I can tell you without even knowing you that your goal weight doesn't mean a lot to you right now. Not subconsciously. It does not have a lot of meaning to it. And I can prove that to you because if I said, how motivated are you to lose weight this month of May? How motivated are you? You got to make it happen. Got to make it not happen. What are you going to do? And you're going to say whatever you're going to say, but you're going to feel whatever motivation you feel. Now compare that motivation to me asking you the question, what if I said, I'll give you $1 million June 1st if you lose weight between now and then? I'll give you $1 million if you lose any weight between now and June 1st. And for every 5 pounds you lose, I'll give you another million. Right? So how motivated would you be then? Right? You're going to notice there's a huge discrepancy between the first motivation and the second motivation. And the reason this is because your goal weight doesn't really mean a lot to you. That's why you didn't feel much motivation when you thought about it at first. When I said, I'm going to give you $1 million, now all of a sudden it means more to you. It becomes, it grabs your attention and you want it at a much higher level. So much of our motivation is the way we're thinking about things. And it all literally starts with your goal weight, where, to be honest, most people's goal weight literally elicits negative responses because most people have been saying the same goal weight that they want to weigh for years and decades. They've been just saying the same number. And the number's kind of lost any real meaning to it other than the fact that it's the number they keep saying when they fail. So every time they say that number, like, I'm at that number, or I got that number and then I put the weight back on. So it's subconsciously associated with failure at this point, And so, it's just like so much what we're doing here is really about the mindset you have. And you can shift a lot of little strategic, subtle things about how you're thinking about your weight, food, your lifestyle that dramatically change your motivation, your mindset, how you approach this whole thing. So you get better results. Again, because dieters, good Lord, I mean, it's always one dial. You got one dial to twist and it's your willpower, like that's the only thing you can do the only shot you have at losing weight is a new diet or more willpower. And how many times have you tried? Yeah. But anyways, whatever questions you may have, that's my point here, because I know you're trying to lose weight. Most likely, most people are. 75% of the population of adults in America are overweight or obese. So there's a good chance that you want to lose weight. And there's a good chance that you have tried and have been unsuccessful, and now you're kind of apathetic. Here he is. I don't know what to do. And usually what happens when people hit apathy is they just stop thinking about it. It just kind of fades from their mind and they just live with that reality. So Malvina says, I'm doing your program and it's taking time to switch the mindset, being patient, haven't lost yet due to all crazy holidays I had, but I feel good knowing that I do have a way to get out of this crazy. Yeah. Great job, Malvina. Yeah. And it does take time. I'll be the first to say it again, because it takes time because you want it to take time. You want to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life. Again, this is another way that the diet industry has really programmed you in the wrong way, is they've gotten you so fixated on short-term results that you've lost sight of the fact that you don't really want to lose weight. You want to live at your goal weight. It's not just about losing weight. You all lost weight and then put it back on. That's not what you want. You want to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. And so, yes, it takes a little while. And the wins show up in different ways, So sometimes the wins are going through holidays and not putting weight on. You know what I mean? Like so sometimes like maintaining is a win. You go through the holidays and you don't put any weight on, where you used to put 2-3 pounds on, that's a win. But beyond that, handling the holidays in a more calm, centered, relaxed way, feeling more comfortable that you're going to do the holiday mode and then you can get right back on track with your eating right after it. Having that sense of calm and certainty within you is just another benefit as well. And so you start stacking all these things up and you keep building and developing them, growing them. And what you'll find is next year at this time, you're in a completely different spot. So yes, things do take time, and I'll be the first to say it, because people that are impatient, I say, please don't go anywhere near my program, please. Because I don't care. I mean, listen, in a very extreme way, and I think it proves the point, the fastest way to lose weight possible is the most extreme. So the fastest way possible to lose weight is just to completely stop eating or drinking anything. Fastest way. But it's also the shortest lasting. Right? You can't do that for long. So you've got to take that into account. And again, dieters do not, because dieters are just solely focused on losing weight. There's really no focus beyond that, other than I'll figure it out once I get there. Once I get to my goal weight, then I'll figure it out. Well, 95% of people that get to their goal weight put it back on. So statistically, the odds are not good that you're going to figure it out. What has been your experience in the past when you've got to your goal weight? So we've got to look at the bigger picture, which is, how do I live at my goal weight? And now all of a sudden, the irony is that this is a more comfortable, easier path than weight loss, because weight loss is always extreme, intense shit to lose weight as quick as possible. Living at your goal weight, mastering your weight, is right from the first step meant to be more relaxing and calming, because it's all built to be long-term. So we're looking to automate your new behaviors, make it easy to get to your goal weight and then stay there. And I think when you have this approach, you naturally and obviously you start to generate different strategies, than if your goal was just to lose weight as quick as possible. What's up, Curveball? Curveball says, just went on vacation and the way I was eating showed me I still have a diet mentality. Yeah, I mean, and by the way, you're always going to have a diet mentality, folks. You're never going to get rid of that. You're not going to get rid of your diet mentality the same way that if you learned another language, you're not going to get rid of English. A principle of neuroscience is that you can't get rid of old wiring. You can only add new wiring to things. So you're always going to have your diet mentality in there. The secret is to learn how to manage it. How do you manage it? When that diety stuff starts coming up, be aware of it and adjust it. That's kind of the best you can hope for. You know what I mean? Like, because it's always going to be there. And I think sometimes people, they do, they set themselves up for failure because they think, okay, well, I got a diet mentality, I'm going to change it. And they make great strides. But then one day, whatever, all of a sudden this diety thing comes back. Oh my God, I was doing so good. And now I blew it. No, now it's gone. I'm done. No, you're not done. That's just normal. I have diety shit coming to my head constantly. I talk about this stuff more than anyone. It still happens. No big deal. I'm aware of it. So I recognize it. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. No. I'm not going to starve myself to lose weight. It's not going to last. I have those thoughts too. You step on the scale, it's up a little bit. I did that. Like I'm coming right back down to where I was, but I kind of hit a max, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago where I put basically 10 pounds on, we'll say. And so as soon as I'm going to stop eating. No, Jim, we're not going to stop eating. That doesn't work. You'll lose weight for a day and then you'll put it back on. I'm not going to do that. So I just want you to know, I think the same shit. And it's the same thing we all have to do. We've got to manage the diet mentality. We don't eliminate it. It doesn't just completely go away. So don't worry about that. Long Blank says, your videos helped me lose 55 pounds so far. 53 pounds. Wow. Nice job, Long Blank. I'll screenshot that. Another success story. Great job. Great job watching the videos. Great job taking action. Great job dropping the 53 pounds so far. Nice job. It's quite an accomplishment. What's up, Lindsay? Lindsay says, hey, Jim, I have a ridiculous question. I feel very healthy and I have good energy. I want to lose 10 pounds for appearance reasons, but I've listened to you long enough to know appearance goals don't get you to your goal. How can you find the motivation for this arguably dumb goal when you can't use health as your main motivator? I'm 28. My husband is a private chef, so I just eat too much, but I want to feel really in shape. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm really glad you asked this because this is something I have started to come around to. I think it was the last week or the week before. I was having a conversation with some of my group coaching program about this. And yes, I do tend to focus. I really don't focus much on the appearance goals. And I know that's strange, but I'm always trying to balance it out because every single diet weight loss program in the world is focusing you on how you look, appearances. And so that's not enough. It'll never be enough. We need to have more reasons that we're going to do this. So that being said, visual appearance goals still should be used. Okay. So listen, we want to use everything at our disposal. We will use absolutely everything we can to motivate ourselves at the highest level possible. And so if you want to look a certain way, great. Okay. The secret is, and I'm so glad you gave me the details, Lindsay, of what your situation is, because that's a fine goal to say, I want to look a certain way, but we need to give it more meaning. And you kind of already started to do that by what you said. Okay. So appearance goals by themselves for most people. Well, now listen, so who would an appearance goal only work for? Right. Now, again, there's lots of different people, but one type of person it's definitely going to work for is like a model. Let's just say someone, man or woman, in their career, in their money, in their livelihood revolve around looking a certain way. Right. So now all of a sudden their appearance goal is at a much higher value level for them than it would be for most of us. Right. Because it doesn't matter if I'm 20 pounds heavier, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to affect really much that anyone else can see. But if your career relies on it, it's going to affect a lot more. But most of us aren't in that situation. So when we have an appearance goal, it's fine, but we need to give it more meaning. And so for you, I'm already seeing, Lindsay, some of the ways I would probably go at this are I want to really feel in shape. That's probably what I would go after. Be like, I feel really good now, but I'm kind of curious to see how good a shape I can get myself in. I realize I'm kind of pushing, I'm pushing into outlier territory. I'm kind of going into all mode and just see what this is at. I don't know how sustainable it is. I'm happy where I'm at, but I just want to see how much effort it takes, how much reward I get when I'm really, really in shape. Because when I'm really in shape, what do I get out of it? What do you expect to get out of it mentally, emotionally? I'd want to go into those. Program yourself. Then we always take our motivation and we give it all the levels to it. And the deeper levels are what we call intrinsic motivations, intrinsic rewards you're going to get out of it. And those are the ones I would focus on. And it might just be curiosity just to see what really in shape is. What does that mean? You know what I mean? How do I feel? How do I sleep? How much energy do I have? How do my clothes fit? How do my pictures look? What emotions do I feel inside? What am I thinking about myself? I would want to get as much detail as I could about what I was going to get out of being really in shape. And I want to get crystal clear on that. And if I start getting really excited about it, then I know I'm on the right path. So I don't think it's a stupid goal, by the way. I just want to make that crystal clear. I want to make that crystal clear. You have to understand my goal for most of my clients are women between the ages of 45 and 70. And so the goal really becomes less about what someone looks like. It's still there. It's still important. We all want to look good, but it starts to just life as you get older, the functionality of your body starts to take important, that becomes the main thing, you know? And so, that's just what I tend to focus on more. But I think bringing in how you want to look as well is also, it's more motivation. And, listen, you're your own person. You can decide whatever you want to do. Your weight is one of the most personal freedoms you got. You can decide whatever you want to weigh. And if you want to weigh a certain thing because you want to look a certain way and, present yourself a certain way, that is your right. You have that right. So I don't talk about that a lot. And I'm going to talk about it more because, I've definitely been biased because the whole diet industry is about what you look like. And I don't have a problem with that. It's just over represented. It's always about what you look like. God damn it. If every diet ad isn't the before and after picture, And so usually people want to look better. That's it. That's the main reason they want to do it. So I usually don't have to touch that. But what I realize is I can help people step into that goal a lot more effectively. So I'm going to use that too. So let's do that. So what I would want you to do, Lindsay, to even identify all those things I was just talking about, the internal thoughts, feelings, experience of living really, really healthy at that, really, really peak shape, is step into that reality. And you can all do this right now. What is your goal weight? Right. And so, everyone's got a different sense of what they want to do. Now, Lindsay's been at this for a while. So Lindsay's in great shape. So Lindsay's already at the goal weight. Now it's like, let me see what else is available. Let me push a little more. Let me just see. Eyes open, making that decision. Great. For some of you, it might just be dropping 20 pounds. I'll feel great then. But whatever your goal is, step into it. Imagine you are at your goal weight right now, whatever that may be. And again, I hope you do the goal weight quiz that I give you, because it's just the start of the whole thing. Once you have a real clear goal weight for yourself and you know what it means, it's a game changer. Everything's different after that. But imagine you're at your goal weight, whatever that may be. How would that feel? Like, exhale. A lot of times when you imagine yourself at your goal weight, it's like, oh, because it's like you think about your weight and losing weight. It's like a constant splinter in your brain, So sometimes stepping into like, oh, I'm at my goal weight. Oh, that's kind of nice. I can breathe. How does it feel? How do you hold yourself? Close your eyes. Imagine yourself wearing an outfit you'd love to wear at your goal weight. Right? If you're all jacked up, Lindsay, you want to get like in peak shape. You know what I mean? Like maybe whatever you'd wear in that outfit. Have fun with it and step into that reality. Whatever it is, it's fun to think of the clothes you'd wear at your goal weight. Right? How you're gonna look. You're well trained in that. So step into it. What outfit would you love to wear on that body of yours? How would it feel now? Now I want you to imagine walking around in that body, right? In the outfit you want to wear, you're at the weight you want to be at, you're the person you want to be, moving through your day. How does that feel? Little things, going shopping at the grocery store, going to the hardware store, going to the kids' school function, going to work, whatever it is that you do in your typical day. Imagine going through that day at your goal weight, wearing the outfit you'd like, being the person you wanted to be, feeling like you wanted to feel, looking the way you wanted to look, being the person who you wanted to be. And imagine that, step into it. And if it's exciting to you and you're able to do that pretty easily, then you're probably on the right track, and that's a very powerful tool to do because you do that and then you say, okay, what did I feel? And say, oh my God, I felt confidence. I just felt relief. I just felt freedom. It felt nice. I was breathing easier. I was more relaxed. Great. Let's start focusing. That's what we want to do. It's not just about the number on the scale. We start using those words. I want to feel more relaxed. I want to feel freer. I want to feel more confident. I want to feel happier. That's what you're after. The weight is a means to an end. The weight's not an end in of itself. The weight is a means to an end to get to the feelings you want to feel every day. It's like money's a means to an end. I mean, just having a bunch of money in a room with yourself isn't any fun. It's taking the money and using it to get you what it gets you, so you can have experiences and, situations. And the weight's the same thing. Just sitting there looking at a scale, you know what I mean? Like that's not the pleasure of it, and it's its own fun, but it's like being out in the world, living as that version of you. That's where the juice comes from. And the more you think of it that way, I think the more you find you're more motivated, Man says, learning your way to eat. Does everyone eat the same amount of food, no matter the variety of height, ages, and activity? Oh, no, absolutely not. Everyone eats different amounts of food because everyone's different shapes and different factors and things. So yes, no one, I mean, there's averages, people average wise weigh the same. I was just studying, I was looking this up the other day. I was wondering to myself, people in famine situations, do their weights equal out according to their heights? And yes, they do. Now there's always outliers, but most of the time people kind of, depending on what your height is, they're all going to kind of end up in the same ballpark weight, So but that brings me back to a bigger point that when you're figuring out how to eat for your goal weight, you really have to figure it out around you. You're a one of a kind being. Your preferences, your genetics, your metabolism, your lifestyle, all these things are uniquely you. So to just try and follow a plan that's not really custom built for you, it doesn't make a lot of sense, So it makes more sense to me to kind of take a step back and really create an eating plan that's built around you. Right? That makes sense. Someone said good afternoon, but they don't have a name, so I can't say who it is. What's up, Darlene? How's it going? Kim says, goal weight, I just want to fit back into my size 16 XL clothes. I'm still wearing plus size 16W 1X. Great. I will give you a little linguistic, what's the word? I guess a little linguistic lesson. When I hear the word just, when it comes to the goal weight, that's a big red flag for me. Okay. I just want to make that clear. Just kind of is a minimizing. I would just like to get one size down, but what that does is it's minimizing the goal. You say, I don't even want to get down to a medium or a small. Never mind that. I just want to get one size down. But what that's doing is it's making it seem like that goal is not that great. That's not that big a deal. And, it may sound like, getting one size down. It may sound a lot to you. It may sound like not a lot to you. I don't know. It depends who you are, obviously. For Kim, it doesn't, I just want to get down to that. I would never use the word just. Like, I want to weigh what I want to weigh. And I don't just want to weigh it. I want to weigh it because it's the center of my life. Being the weight I want to be is the core center of everything in my life, because my weight is a reflection of how I eat and live habitually. And how I eat and live habitually is dictating how I'm able to parent, what kind of partner I am in my marriage, what kind of business I'm able to run, what kind of coaching I'm able to do with my clients, what kind of activity I'm able to do when I get some free time. So, to me, I would never be like, oh, I just want to weigh that. That to me is almost like dismissive and minimizes the importance of it. To me, it's like, I want to weigh this because it's literally the foundation of everything I want to achieve in my life starts with the weight that I want to live at, the person I want to be. So I just want to throw that out there. Just, I don't want to, when I hear just in my goal setting, I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to speak more definitively, and fine. You just want to, you just want to lose half a one size. Right. But we say, I want to fit back into my size 16 XL clothes. That's what I want to wear. I felt a lot better then. I felt more confident. I felt more successful. I know it's only one size, but it was crazy how much better I felt. That's what I want. You hear the power in that? There's way more power in my language when I speak that way. It's, I don't want to lose that much. I just want to do that, you know? Ah, okay, okay. Oh, I see what you're doing, Kim. Right. So Kim's using this as a strategy. All right. Then hey, listen, number one rule of program yourself. Then there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. Okay. So now I see what Kim writes. She goes, but I just went down from 20W 2X to 16W 1X. So this is my new just. Okay. Well, now that you add that piece of information, I know when you first said the first thing, Kim, I thought you're like, you've been at this 1X for a while, and now you'd just like to get down to another one. And people talk this way sometimes when they're kind of stuck and have been stuck for a while. But knowing that you're currently in a weight loss trajectory down, now I know that you're using the just as a strategy to just, in program yourself. Then we use the 5 pound increments. So it's all about losing the next 5 pounds, the next 5 pounds, the next 5 pounds. So you're using just as this next goal. It's working for you. So great. Again, I have no problem saying, what I'm saying never applies to everyone. I'm sharing what I consider to be best practices with you. There's always outliers. There's always people it doesn't work for. This is why I say you got to build everything around you. So great job then, Kim. Ignore what I said. I would ignore all of it because I think that, the just word, again, I do think it's, we say just sometimes to basically, I don't care. I just want to do that, but it's like your goal is probably bigger than that, but you're using this as a movement phase. So anyways, I thought you were articulating kind of your big goal, but now I'm getting the feeling that you actually have a bigger goal and you're just you're kind of, I'm joining you in the little incremental steps down. But anyways, great job, Kim. Nice job with that success. Eric Hat says, I fell off the wagon for a while. Glad to be here again. Yeah, there's no problem, Eric Hat. The secret is to learn from that, okay? Because we're all going to fall off the wagon sometimes. That's just the default nature of life. You can't just stay on the wagon 100% all the time. That's why program yourself is an all or something approach and method and not a all or nothing method. All right. So great job getting back. Okay. That's the key thing. I often say that the number one skill of living at your goal weight is getting to your goal weight and living at your goal weight is the ability to get back on track quickly. Okay. So, great job getting back. And now ask yourself, how do I get off track? Now that I'm back on track, what do I do? And one of the most important things of all of the all or something model is to realize that you can always be on track really easy. You can't be on track 100% really easy all the time. That's not even possible, but you can always be on track at least a little bit all the time really easily. It could be as simple as I'm going to drink, a bottle of water every day, no matter what. I ate like shit yesterday. I don't care. I still drink my water. Or every day I'm going to eat an apple. I don't give a shit. I could eat 5 pizzas. I'm still going to eat an apple. You know what I mean? Like, so it's so easy to get into something mode. It's so easy. So that's one of the things I would suggest to you, Era, I'm not going to say it's Era or Cat, is to reflect now that you feel like you're back on the wagon a little bit. Ask yourself, knowing what I know now, if I go back in time, what is something I could have done that could have kept me at least 1 foot in the wagon? Something simple, water, a piece of fruit, going for a walk. It could be anything. It's really just a mental trigger to feel like you're on track somewhat, on the wagon somewhat. Right? Beck Pants says, finding your post so helpful. I've lost 10 pounds just wandering your views on how often to weigh. Hey, great job. Great job, Beck. My views on how often to weigh. Okay. So I feel like if you're actively losing weight and want to lose weight, I think you should weigh every day or close to that. I think weighing once a week is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Your weight fluctuates all the time. If you don't weigh yourself every day, you won't even know that. Your weight fluctuates every single day. So I think it's really important and valuable to know how your body operates, how your weight fluctuates. So I think if you're going to, now again, with Program Yourself, then it's about mastering your weight. It's about how do I live at my goal weight for the rest of my life? And so the scale is a tool we use, like carpenter uses a hammer, where it's a tool. So to have all of this stress and anxiety wrapped up in a scale, it's weird. I mean, when you drive your car, you're not scared to look at the speedometer. You look at the speedometer and you speed up or slow down. But again, the scale's not the issue. The issue with the scale, why people are so triggered by it, is because it reveals that they don't really know how to lose weight. They don't know how to change their eating, what to do. But when you do, the scale just becomes another piece of information. So again, I understand people have a lot of emotional triggering from the scale, but in Program Yourself, then we work on that. And I personally, when I was losing weight, I would weigh myself every day. I'm in a weight loss phase now, and I weigh myself way more. Maybe it's not every single day, but it's close. And I'm looking to know. I want to know my fluctuations, how my body operates based on what I've been doing. I want to know. I like using it. It kind of keeps me. It just reinforces. This is important to me. I'm watching this. Simultaneously, when I step on the scale, I'm managing my emotions. So it's it sucks. I'm going to do extra good today. And I'll use it as a motivator. I'm in control of the scale. The scale's not in control of me. Imagine. So if you were in control of the scale, how often do you folks weigh? Well, so if I step on every day, I'd be a mad person. Well, why? Why would it drive you insane? Why? I get obsessed with it. Well, you don't have to be obsessed with it. You can work on using it as a data point. You could work on having a healthier relationship with the scale and again, you don't have to use the scale either though. So if you don't want to use the scale at all, you detest the scale and you want to do it, fine. Don't use the scale. But if you're going to use the scale, using it once a week is crazy because my weight can fluctuate literally in average 2 to 3 pounds a day is easy, normal. Sometimes 5 pounds a day, it could fluctuate, outlier stuff. But let's just say, you get on the scale on a Monday, you start your diet, you get on the scale, and for whatever reason, you're 2 pounds down. Okay. And now the next day it goes back up to its normal weight of 2 pounds up, right? You kind of hover there. And then you go step on the scale and you're 1 pound up. Well, now it looks like looks like you gained 3 pounds over the week. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the idea of, I don't know, things in life where you get less data points, where that serves you better. To me, more data points are valuable. Now, again, you can't let it turn into drama where it just freaks you out. So you need to have some emotional strategies to deal with the scale when it doesn't say what you want. But you can do that. You're a big person. I was saying this yesterday. It makes me sound like an asshole, but I mean, like, you're adults, folks. You can change things in your mind. You can think differently. Can you imagine? And it's like, good Lord, dieters, it's like you're all way too smart to be trying this dumb dieting shit. It's not up to the task. So anyways, that's what I would say. What's up, Connie? How's it going? Coco says should be training for strength and fitness, and what you look like just happens as a result. Yeah, I think that's a great attitude, Coco. I do the same thing with the weight loss, is that I think in an ideal world, you really want the weight and the weight loss to be a secondary effect. Okay. So meaning most people they're fixated on the eating so that they'll lose weight, and everything's about losing weight. But I just think that's the wrong, it's not enough motivation, first of all. And there's a bunch of problems with it. But what I would do is I want to eat better, live healthier so I can feel better. Like, it's so easy to feel better. It fucking makes me nuts when I think about this, because if you today would drink a little more water, eat an extra piece of fruit, go for a short walk, you will feel better. Guaranteed. You will go to bed tonight feeling better. You will wake up tomorrow feeling better. And, like, it's so easy to feel good, but people just completely dismiss that because all they care about is the weight. I can't tell you the number of people I've had in the beginning phases of the program that they're eating better, they're living healthier, and a week or two go by, oh, I haven't lost any weight though. I feel so much better. I'm so much more relaxed. I've been sleeping good. I feel energized. I'm feeling really good. It's been easy. It's been comfortable, but I haven't lost any weight. So I don't know how I'm going to keep it up. Calm down. Did you hear the first part where everything was way better? You feel better. You feel happier. So that's what we focus on. And then the weight loss happens. And it's the same thing what Coco says. Yeah. If we focus on getting stronger and fitness and healthy and living longer and all the rest of it, and then the shape and how we look is the side effect of it. I think that's a smarter mindset approach to it. So I agree with that. What's up, Isla? Isla says, hi, I lost 20 pounds. I lost around 20 pounds already, but I feel like I'm hitting a plateau. The scale isn't moving. Crying face. Well, great job. Great job dropping 20 pounds already. Okay, nice job. When someone tells me they hit a plateau, my first question is always, how long has the weight not been moving? My first question. So it's hard to even answer this without knowing. I mean, have you been a plateau for a week, a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, a couple years, right? I need to know where it's at to really kind of help you move forward. So if you're still here, let me know how long you feel like you've been on a plateau for. Because yeah, plateaus we got to deal with because they're an unavoidable part of the process. No avoiding plateaus ever. High Ticket Investing says, when losing weight, should I focus on positive feeling? What will I get when I lose weight or identity? When losing weight, should I focus on positive feelings that I will get when I lose weight or I don't know if you ever finished that. So it may not be identity, but whatever you're going to ask, right? So when losing weight, should I focus on positive feelings that I will get when I lose weight or whatever else you're going to say? Both. You focus on absolutely everything that's going to motivate you. You focus on the negative, bad things you're going to experience if you don't take care of your weight, and you focus on all the wonderful things you're going to get when you take care of your weight. And you tap into those as quick as you can. And you say fix on as many things as possible for the reasons why you're doing this. So there's never an or. And you're like, oh, should I focus on the good feelings I'm going to get when I do that? Or should I, identify the reasons why I don't want to be overweight? Both. Right? You can never have enough motivation, never enough reasons to, live at your goal weight. Isla says around 3 weeks. Okay. So you've been plateauing for about 3 weeks. So I will let you know, 20 pounds in. The other thing I'd want to know, I should ask this, is how much weight you ultimately want to lose. Right. So you're 20 pounds down. So I'd like to know, how much more do you want to drop? That's another thing I'd really like to know. But okay, let's just say 3 weeks. So 3 weeks happens. What I do when I get in plateaus and program yourself, then when you get in a plateau is that you think of it as practicing your maintenance, meaning that whatever you did to drop 20 pounds, keep doing the same thing. Don't start cutting more calories, do the same thing, but optimize it, meaning you make it easier and more enjoyable. That's simple. How can you make it easier to do the things you've done to drop 20 pounds? And how can you make it more enjoyable? And you focus on that. And you focus on that, I would say, for 4 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks is probably good. And if there's no weight loss, then I would say, okay, time to slice some more calories out. But now I've got 3-4 weeks of stabilization, optimization I've been working on, and I'm more aware of what I've been doing. And now I can say, okay, where would be the easiest calories to cut out next? That I'm going to work on cutting those out, and then I would go and work to seek some cuts more out. Because a lot of times when it comes to a plateau, you never know at first. The first 4 weeks, you don't know if it's your body just kind of adjusting to things or if, you need to cut more calories. So that's the first thing we need to figure out. So again, plateaus, we practice maintenance, optimize it, and then take it from there. So Corey says, I'm at fault of using excuse of obsessing if I weigh daily, but you're right. It fluctuates daily. Yeah, no, I know. And lots of people, they get obsessively weird with the scale. I understand that. You've been trained to do that, folks. I mean, the diet industry is not your friend. They don't want you to lose weight for good. The diet industry is a branch of the processed food industry. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Slim Fast is owned by the same company, owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company, owns Auntie Anne's pretzels and Cinnabon. So all the diets you think about in the ways you think about weight loss have been primarily implanted into your brain by the food industry. Would you trust them to get you to eat healthier? I wouldn't. So, So again, even the scale, the way we think about it and the way we use it is broken from the start. So again, when I say to weigh yourself daily, I want to be clear that there's also a mindset component to that you got to kind of manage your mindset and your emotions as well, because yeah, a lot of people have used the scale and it becomes a real trigger. So just because it feels that way doesn't mean it has to, that's not the only way it can feel. You can use it as a, just a data point, that doesn't suck you into emotions. I can talk about the scale all day, but what's up, Darlene? Darlene says, I used to obsess with the scale. Now I weigh daily and average the week for a general idea. There you go. Yeah, Darlene. Well, Darlene's in the program though. So again, yeah, we use the scale very strategically, Program Yourself Thin is a big person's program. So if you're an adult and you want to live at your goal weight, you're going to need a big person's program. It sounds condescending, but I mean, I don't mean it to be condescending to you, but I do mean it to be condescending to the dieting mind. I mean, the dieting mind, I do this every day for years at this point. I never get anyone arguing with the diet. I literally, I've had maybe 5 people argue with me that diets work. And literally every single one of them has said, you're right. You're right. I was wrong. So it's like, I find it crazy that literally hundreds of people every single day pop in here and hear me talking my shit about diets. And literally no one, I mean, statistically, it's like 0% of people are going to argue about diets with me. That's fucking crazy, because that's the main way you know how to lose weight. The main way you know how to lose weight is to diet. And you don't even believe it enough to defend it to me. That is a real bad sign for you. And it reveals what you already know, that diets don't work. But Jesus, fix it. Do you care at all about your weight? Because I'm not, I never believe dieters. Oh, I want to lose weight. Listen, if you keep doing the same dumb shit that doesn't work, I don't really believe you. So again, if you seriously want to live at your goal weight, you've got to approach this like a big person, like an adult. You need a full, comprehensive, holistic plan to master your weight. There are no shortcuts. Every diet's a get-rich-quick scheme, and they're leading you astray. And you can spend your entire life struggling with this, chasing your tail with weight loss. What's up, Joan? I got you, Joan. Yeah, I'll be there. We'll be there. Even if you're late. Joan's in the coaching. Should be a little late, but we'll be there talking, so won't miss us. What's up, Connie? Connie says, finally committed to taking dinner to the baseball field since I literally live at Little League. Great job, Connie. That's a huge deal then, So for Connie, and, this is how all of us want to approach this, is that, we want to look at what are our biggest challenges, right? So for example, if you got, 3 to 5 Little League games every single week, right in the middle of dinner time, and most of those nights you go to fast food places, that's an easy win, at least as an initial thing. Oh, what can I do better? I could prepare one night a week, one Little League game a week. I'm going to prepare dinner. It's going to be healthier. Get some, get some momentum with that. Figure out some things that are easy to make, relatively enjoyable, simple, easy, calorically more in line with your goal weight. Get that in. And then once that's kind of locked in, hey, I can do some, let me do this another night. You build from there. You build. You all want a pre-built plan. You can't have a pre-built plan. Great job, Connie. I'm proud of you. That's what it is. Just little consistent positive steps moving forward. There's Beck. Beck says, from England, I've been programmed to weigh once a week. Yeah. No, I get it, Beck. Same over here in America. Everyone's programmed to weigh once a week. And I think it's because it doesn't work. Or it could be, you know what it probably is, actually? I would bet that the majority of the once a week weighing is, I bet most of that is Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is profoundly impactful in the diet industry. And, Weight Watchers is a funny thing. The story there is just like, it was a housewife in New Jersey, was struggling with weight. And long story short, she ended up kind of putting together groups of other housewives, and they would get together and just talk about weight and weigh themselves. And that it was bought by Heinz. That became Weight Watchers that we know. But you have to understand that really Weight Watchers, the only thing that's really good about Weight Watchers, it's not the points. The points is, come on, it's just tracking calories. This is, it's a fun way to track calories. Okay. But the real thing that made Weight Watchers probably the most effective weight loss program ever has nothing to do with their counting points and their diet strategies and philosophies. It really has to do with the social component. So, and they're getting rid of that, they keep getting rid of that stuff. But anyways, so that's kind of like what they did. They'd meet once a week. And with Weight Watchers, once it, I think a lot of it came from that, where, because they would discourage you from weighing throughout the week because you're building all this anticipation up. There's a lot. Weight Watchers is fascinating. I watch it all day long because I am literally, I'm a certified stage hypnotist as well. It's not something I ever really wanted to do, but I was curious about it. But I find it very interesting. And I see a lot of parallels between hypnosis shows and Weight Watchers, because if you didn't know, and you probably don't, but hypnosis shows, like stage hypnosis, is really more stage and social manipulation, if you want, than it is hypnosis. Those same things that people do on stage, they wouldn't do in my office, just me and them. So there's a lot of social aspects to stage hypnosis that make it work. And Weight Watchers is the same thing, that there's a lot of kind of social aspects to that plan working. Having a group, having a network, having the pressure, the excitement, the support of, you lose weight, you didn't lose weight. All of those things are great, I think. And but I would bet that's where a lot of the weigh once a week came from. And so once again, it's the story. I don't know if you ever heard the story about the one day that the mom's making a pot roast, and with the daughters there watching, and she goes, okay, it's time to cut the ends off the roast. We always, now it's cut the ribs out of the roast here, and then we put it in the oven. And the daughter goes, why do we cut the ends off the roast? And the mom goes, I don't know, we just always did that. And she calls up her mom. She goes, hey, why do we cut the ends off the roast? She goes, I don't know, we always did that. And they call up their mom. I go, great grandma. They say, hey, why do we cut the ends off the roast? She goes, because we used to have an oven that was too small, that we couldn't fit the whole roast in, so we had to cut the ends off. So a lot of times the things we do, it's not really relevant now. So the idea of weighing once a week, what would be the point of that? You know what I mean? Like it's constantly fluctuating. You're not getting an accurate picture of your weight. Don't you want an accurate picture? Oh, I can't handle the emotions. Yes, you can. You just have to learn how. And a lot of handling the emotions of the scale is learning how to use it differently, just so you know. But anyways, yeah, a lot of people program for that. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. But oh, wait, let me see here. I see Judith there for a second. Judith says, I attend Weight Watchers, and I can tell you it's changed significantly. It's far more psychological. There's something really therapeutic in being with other people. That is the thing with Weight Watchers. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree that the social piece is very good. You know what I mean? It's the best. It's the only part. In my opinion, I think Weight Watchers is the best weight loss program that's ever existed in terms of actually getting results. I don't think the plan is anything special, but I think the social component has led it to be the most effective plan, which isn't saying much, by the way. Weight Watchers weight loss numbers suck. Just so you know, I think it's the best plan out of a bunch of shitty ones. And yes, I agree. Weight Watchers is more psychological, but just from my perspective, Weight Watchers psychologically compared to Program Yourself Thin, it's preschool. I will tell you. And I swear, a quarter of my clients are from Weight Watchers, if not half. And a lot of them are even in the Weight Watchers for Life program. You know what I mean? So again, I like Weight Watchers social component. The rest of it, again, counting points is just kind of a fun way to do it. And so if it works for you, cool. But there's nothing really, not as advanced, certainly not as advanced and sophisticated as you get in Program Yourself Thin. But anyways, whatever works for you, right? I'll go to Weight Watchers, but weigh every single day and do my own thing alongside and listening to you. Yeah, great. That's a great strategy, Judith. Yeah. Because again, I think Weight Watchers, it's fine. I mean, all the diets are fine. Weight Watchers is a little bit above the rest when there's the social component. But yeah, I would definitely, if you're serious about losing weight, you should definitely be listening to me. I mean, I don't think there's anyone on the planet that can help you get to your goal weight as much as I can. And there's certainly no one that can help you stay there as long as I can. Yeah, Don says Weight Watchers worked until the shit hit the fan. Exactly. I mean, Weight Watchers, most diets are like this. But Weight Watchers, again, what do you do when the shit hits the fan? What do you do then? And it's not really up for that. And that's what my whole program is about, is how do you balance yourself out so that no matter what happens up, you're still kind of in the game, getting results, all right, everyone. So yeah, if you're not in my world, go click the link in my bio, go to Program Yourself Thin, get the hypnosis session I give you, watch the video I made, read the emails. They're all there to help you. They're all free. I'm here every Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, on average. Get on here, ask your questions. Let me help you out. If you like listening to this and you miss it, it's a podcast. Program yourself in. You can go check it out. Listen to the podcast, do one every weekday. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a super duper day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.